What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going through the weekend games, the ones that stick out the most, the three that stick out the most in particular for me anyway, and I'm going to give my predictions, discuss what I think is going to happen in each game, in the ones that I'll talk about, and you know what, we're just going to get straight into it. But before we do, like, sub and share the content around on YouTube. Follow the TikTok page, that'll be in the description below, and that's in a post on my channel somewhere. I'll leave a picture of it here or here. And also follow the Twitter account as well, or the X account I should say, because I will be posting on there quite often and I will be linking this video in that Twitter. So if you came from that platform, great. If not, then the link will be in the description along with the TikTok as well. There are three games that I'm going to talk about in particular. I'm going to start off with Arsenal and then we're going to work our way through and I'll give my predictions for every single game at the end. Now, Arsenal against Leeds, we all got the news yesterday, or the day before should I say, that Eberechi Eze is coming to Arsenal, which is great news, and the fact that we took him off Tottenham as well, who we'll get into later, which is, let's not forget what we did see against Manchester United. And yes, it's Leeds at home. Yes, we're going to beat Leeds at home, I'll tell you that for free. However, we can't ignore what we saw against Man United in terms of the way we played, the way the game panned out, the way how our attack was disjointed, predictable, methodical, boring. And do I think it will be the same game against Leeds? No. And the reason I say that is because Man United were onto us from the get-go. Leeds will not be onto us. They'll be sitting back and they'll be, to be fair, they'll be doing what Man United done in terms of hitting us on the counter, especially when Calafiori's playing, because you could tell when Mbeumo was getting the ball against Man United that Calafiori being out of position, being in midfield, being high up the pitch, that was a danger area for us in particular. And do I think Leeds will play the same way? Kind of, in a way. I think they will look to hit on the counter, and that's what most teams will do when they come to the Emirates this season. And it's our job in attack to break them down, which we've seen under this manager throughout that has been a massive issue. And that's a mixture of his coaching, and that's a mixture of the quality we have. Now, whether Eze will play this game, I don't think he will, because I think he's got to be registered by, I think he was meant to be 12 PM today. So unless he's been registered and we don't know about it, he will probably not be in the squad to face Leeds. So he will definitely play against Liverpool next weekend. However, we should have enough to beat Leeds. In attack, we've got Odegaard, who should be having a good game no matter what. Do I think we'll see any rotation? I'd like to think so. I think we should be rotating. I think Madueke, Trossard should be starting because it's Leeds at home and it gives them a bit of a rest before we go to Anfield next week. But knowing his manager, the way he likes to overplay certain players, we're not going to see that, let's be honest. So it probably will be a Martinelli, Gyökeres and Saka front line, which I'm fine with Gyökeres side because he's got to find his feet in his team and he's got to try, hopefully, get enough service this time, because he didn't even have a shot against Man United. And that says more for me about the system and how Arteta is failing to adapt rather than him himself, because I said before, he is a limited footballer. His job in his team, it should be just to be in the box and score goals, but that's something the manager and the team have to face, and they've got to fix that real quick, let's be honest, because we can't be seeing what we saw at Old Trafford any more times this season. So look, I think team lineup, I think it will be unchanged from the game against Man United. Saying that, there were leaks going around from the open training day that there was no sign of Timber, there was no sign of Ben White, which does worry me a little bit because those are obviously our two right backs. Obviously Tommy Yasu's gone, and there may be some changes, so you might even see Calafiori a right back, you might even see Zinchenko starting, but hopefully it is the same team defensive wise, because they are decent defenders. I wouldn't mind seeing Timber start a game, but I think it will be the same team that played against Man United similarly enough, but there will be changes in defence probably. But I'd rather see the likes of Madueke start this game, the likes of Trossard start this game, just so our attackers, who probably will play at Anfield, are fully rested. But yeah, score prediction, I'm going to go with a 3-1 to Arsenal. I think it'll be a comfortable game. Leeds I don't really see Leeds as being a threat at all, especially the game I watched against Everton on Monday. Next game that I'm going to talk about is the game at 12:30 tomorrow, the early kickoff, Man City against Tottenham. Now, over the years, I've sort of taken my predictions really lightly, because whenever I think City are going to batter Tottenham and it's at the Etihad, we all know the record that Tottenham have at this ground. They won 4-0. As bad as they were last season, they won 4-0 at the Etihad, and that was pretty much around the time where Man City were going on their 1-14 or something stupid like that. But I would like to say that Man City should deal with Tottenham. I want to say that, but a couple of things are worth pointing out. Man City do look a lot more stronger this season. They look a lot more defensively solid than last season. But in saying that, Tottenham actually have a defensive structure now with Thomas Frank, and we saw the way they played against PSG, how they were able to nullify them. Jed Spence in particular being able to nullify their wide players, and he's a player that's definitely going to be a big asset to Thomas Frank in terms of the way they defend. But in saying that, Tottenham have got a massive issue as well, because they're going into this game with Eze not being over the line because he's going to Arsenal, and obviously James Maddison being out with ACL. Now, will they go with the same midfield they went with last week, with Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall in there? Palhinha never started that game, I'm pretty sure. I think he came off the bench, but I'm certain that he will definitely start, because they can't go into that game with them two playing, in my opinion anyway. Maybe if it was under Ange Postecoglou, because he is definitely brave in the decisions that he makes, I can definitely see that happening, because that is the same guy that went to the Etihad a couple of years ago, I believe, and had Emerson Royale and Ben Davies as centre back, and still got a good result out there. But I think I do see Manchester City winning this game. I don't see it being a battering from either teams like it especially was with Tottenham last season. However, I do think Man City just about scrape past them. I'm going to go with a 2-1 to Man City, because I think Tottenham will definitely score, because seeing them against PSG, they could definitely be a goal threat at the other end and be a defensively solid unit at the other end. But I think Manchester City's quality, especially with Tijani Reinders, who he impressed me a lot, because that's the first time I properly watched him like as in a full game, and he definitely impressed me out there. Especially Cherky as well, coming off the bench. He never even started the game. So the amount of quality that Man City have, I can't see a way they don't win this game. And then we've got the final game of this weekend. I say weekend, it's on the Monday night, and it's definitely the one that people are looking out for, and that is Newcastle United against Liverpool. Now, it hasn't got to be said why this game is a massive game. Not only it's a big game for Liverpool in terms of the title race this year, going away to St James's Park is tough for pretty much everyone. However, with what's gone on with Alexander Isak this whole window, the way that Newcastle have had such a bad transfer window, getting rejected left, right and centre, this is definitely a massive game, and this is one game where I can see it that it can turn into a proper cagey affair very early on, because, you know, Newcastle at the moment, in my opinion, the atmosphere probably isn't the best because of what Isak's been, you know, all the stuff with Alexander Isak going on. See, they're not having the transfer window they hoped for when they did get Champions League football. And I was hoping that the Isak deal will be done by this weekend. Obviously not now, because he is currently, apparently, from what I've heard, he is training alone with the first team, without the first team, sorry. To be fair, I still expect the deal to be done. I still think he will become a Liverpool player. I just don't know when, because it's currently the 22nd of August and the window shuts, I think, start of September or end of August. I can't quite remember the exact date, but yeah, I do expect him to be a Liverpool player. It's just going to be an interesting affair. I think the atmosphere will definitely be interesting. That's one thing about St James's Park. I've never been there myself, but you could tell on TV that when that atmosphere gets going, especially the way it will, because obviously the story is this transfer window with Newcastle and Liverpool. Obviously them having Ekitike as well, they pretty much took him from Newcastle, because Newcastle were definitely interested in signing him, but we all remember what happened. Newcastle went in, Liverpool went in to get him. Newcastle wanted Cesc to go as well. He went to Man United. Joao Pedro was definitely a name as well they wanted. He went to Chelsea. But I can't guarantee this game will bring goals, but what I can guarantee is there definitely will be a sending off. That's what I think anyway. Score prediction wise, I'm gonna go 1-1, and the reason I'm saying that is with Liverpool don't look great at all defensively, especially the game against Bournemouth, and Newcastle are definitely a hard team to break down. Eddie Howe does set them up well with that midfield in front of them, with that defence that they have. Obviously they're losing quite a bit in attack, not having Isak there, which is why I don't think it will be a high scoring game. But yeah, 1-1, that is my score prediction. I'm not gonna preview every single game because there are some games that I just don't care about. However, I will have a list here right now with all my predictions for this weekend's games. There is a game tonight as well, West Ham against Chelsea, the Friday night kickoff, so that'll definitely be an interesting watch as well. Graham Potter against Chelsea, his old club, and also the fact that West Ham got smashed by Sunderland last weekend. But yeah, that's it from me. Remember, follow the TikTok page, subscribe to this channel, look at the Twitter page as well, that'll be linked in the bio, and yeah, that's it from me, and I'll see you lot in a bit.